Good evening and welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. It's XONO here, XONO Invites, and on tonight's episode I'm joined by Mikrotakt. Mikrotakt is an artist who I've been in contact with for just over a year or so now. From the moment I first heard his music, I was impressed and amazed, to be honest with you, and we recently just had a collaboration together on they're actually an event series, but they've started a label now, and it's called 01366. And I played for them not too long ago with D Dan, and they've been doing several parties in Barcelona, London, Manchester, so on and so forth. So it's an absolute pleasure for me to be a part of this. I'm really, really grateful. So big up Joey and Leighton if you're listening. Thank you very much for the continued support and for everything you're doing for the scene. But moving on to the show now, I've gone for a little bit of a deeper selection tonight, so I hope you all enjoy the tunes. And remember guys, if you do need any of the track IDs from the show, please don't hesitate to contact me on my socials at XONO Music. And one more thing, the next XONO Invites event in Berlin is now on sale, and it's April the 29th. It's going to be myself and Saya for 12 hours, that's all I'm going to say. But if you was at the first one, you would understand. Well, you know the deal basically. But yeah guys, tickets are on sale now. They're only £10 and you can get them via the PayPal on my Instagram account, or just message me directly and I'll be more than happy to help you out. But yeah guys, I'm going to get into the show now. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope you're all doing well like I said. And yeah, what can I say? Keep it locked. It's XONO Invites here, Fred's Radio. hello, good evening and welcome to the show if you are just tuning in. The track we're currently listening to underneath now is from an artist called Asquith, and the track title for this is Higher Power, and this is now out on Asquith's Bandcamp page. So you can just go ahead and find that, and of course guys, support the music, the scene and the community. But remember guys, if you do need any of the tracks from the show tonight, please don't hesitate to contact me on my socials at XONO Music. And yeah, what can I say? Please don't go anywhere. It's going to be myself and Mikrotakt in conversation real soon. But until then, keep it locked. XONO Invites here, Fres Radio. it from myself tonight, guys, but please don't go anywhere as there's plenty more to come. Next up, it's myself and Mikrotakt in conversation, and he's also recorded a killer 1-hour guest mix for us. What you're going to hear after the interview. But what can I say, guys? Thank you once again for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, and I hope you've all enjoyed the tune selection and so on and so forth. But thank you very much, guys, and hopefully I'll see some of you at the XONO Invites event in Berlin, and the date for that is the 29th, like I said earlier. But yeah, what can I say, guys? Thank you very much as always. I'll look forward to speaking with you all again next month, but until then, be safe, rave hard, and be happy. Lots of love, guys. See you soon. Welcome back to XONO Invites, and on tonight's show I'm joined by Mikrotakt. Mikrotakt, how are you?
All good, thank you for having me on.
No worries. So yeah, what have you been up to?
So yeah, very busy at the moment with all the live sound and SAE, so yeah.
Obviously we've talked previously and I remember you telling me about SAE, so what is it you actually do at SAE?
So basically, I'm a campus support technician, which means I work in the music studios, mostly handing out cables and microphones. But also I'm there to support the students when they have any questions regarding signal flow or issues with Pro Tools or feedback on mixes or stuff like that really. So they'll come with questions and I go and help them out. It's more of that towards the end of the trimester, because a lot of them, leave it till the end to fix things out. But
so how long have you been in this job for?
Well, yeah, I only started about 3 months ago actually, but was planning to go there for a while, so I've been in contact with them, since last year, and then because of COVID, there wasn't really many openings until recently.
It's fantastic. It's a good job to be in, especially if you're involved in the industry and making music yourself and so on and so forth. You're based in the UK, right?
Yeah, so I'm in London.
Okay, but you're originally from Sweden, if I'm correct.
Well, basically, I'm English. I'm born in the UK. My parents are English. And we moved to Sweden when I was 9. Because they had friends over there. So I grew up in Sweden from the age of 9, and we moved around. First we moved to Örebro, which is not far from, say, Gothenburg, and then after 2 years we moved to the very north of Sweden, which is close to the Arctic Circle. So it's freezing, like minus 30 in the winters, and summers were
Okay. So you only come back to the UK to study music, or
Well, I came back with the plan to work within music, and that was my goal, really, and to, carry on with what I'm doing here. Basically, I was able to produce, but there's nothing going on in terms of gigs and so on. So I came back with the goal of working only within music and, doing more gigs and meeting more people, like-minded people.
Was it in Sweden where you discovered electronic music and techno?
Yeah. So, because when I grew up in the very north of Sweden, basically I was in the middle of the forest and there was nothing going on. And there was 3 buses a day to the nearest town, which was a tiny town where I had all my mates and stuff. And then when I was about 16, 17, I moved to the very south of Sweden. And then, I discovered that there was loads of underground raves going on. And then as soon as I went into this first rave, I couldn't stop moving, really. And that's basically it. Since then, I just fell in love with techno in general.
So you never heard of this music? Was at this party, or have you heard it like online before, or through people showing you the music?
So it's actually a bit crazy. So basically, I grew up very musical background. So from the age of 4, I was like playing violin and stuff, and then from the age of 5, 6, I was playing piano, and then I was playing piano every week, going to lessons and stuff, and then I got into like heavy metal music when I was like 7, 8, and was really into that, and was playing electric guitar and drums, and got more into guitar, but had a drum kit in my room and guitars everywhere.
So more into like the acoustic sound and more live band stuff, and not so much electronic music at this point.
No, exactly, but I was about 9 years old, 10, 11. And then when I was around 11, 12, that's when I discovered old school boom bap hip hop. And then that was my thing. So I just switched from like being this metalhead kid to like super into boom bap, like old 90s boom bap. And then I got really into like writing lyrics, and then I was writing lyrics like every day. And then I got into trying to make my own beats and stuff. So I got a copy of FL Studio and started making beats when I was like 13. And got really into the production side of things. And I was also really into skateboarding. So skateboarding was my first main hobby, kind of. Which then was the reason I moved to the south of Sweden, because there was a skateboarding school there. I basically moved there to study skateboarding properly at a more professional level, basically. And but I still had music and skateboarding, basically. So I was producing, and then when I got there is when we all got Apple computers, and I decided I should probably get Logic, because it just seems more professional, better than FL. And then, basically from the age of 18, I guess, 17, 18, I decided if I'm going to get any good at producing, I just gave myself the goal to produce every day, basically.
I really like this concept, because I've sort of doing the same thing myself, where it's like I've got a tally where I have to do something at least 2 hours a day. Exactly. And since I've been doing that, it seems like something is just like something I do naturally. You know what I mean? It's not forced. It's not like I go in there thinking I have to do this at this point. I just do it now,
Exactly.
I think it's a good way to sort of get yourself into the rhythm of making music and so on and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. So first I set myself, okay, 1 hour a day minimum. But then in the end I was, okay, no rules. All I have to do is open Logic once a day. That was my only thing. And then once it's open, I would sit there for 2, 3, 4 hours, 1 hour minimum. But
So when you first opened like Logic, for instance, or FL Studio, did you have any understanding of these plugins, or was it just literally trial and error?
Trial and error when I was younger, yeah.
Okay, so at what age was it that you decided you wanted to actually take music serious as a career and move forward, and then obviously making the move to London?
Well, I guess, yeah, around that point, 18, 19, I started planning, okay, I have to go and study. But then there was also, you know, money and really not knowing how to get from there to, you know, moving country. And yeah, it's actually a great story. I'd like to share this. So I got a job in a restaurant, and then my boss there was proper cool and gave me a great education of, you know, electronic music. I mean, I was already into raves and stuff, but I didn't really know the background of things. And then he was, basically his story was he wanted to go and study production, and he wanted to do the same as, you know, what I wanted to do. And but his father was like, there's no future in that, you can't do that. And then his father just gave him the restaurant, and basically he's still in the restaurant just working every day, but he's got loads of, you know, he's got money coming in. So and then he was older and he saw me with the same dreams as he had, and he really pushed me, and he was like, nah, you're not going to be, you're going to go to London, and even helped me a lot. Like
amazing, man. I mean, for myself, it wasn't exactly the same, but I had a similar situation where my cousin was into music, and when I told my parents I wanted to go and study music and how much it was going to cost me to do so, they was like, no, it's a waste of money, there's nothing in it, like, you're not going to gain anything from it. But then at the same time it felt right to do so I just done it anyway.
Exactly.
Is that how you say you had that guy there looking at your ambitions and sort of envied you, but in a way it pushed you as well to do what you actually loved in the first place, you know?
Yeah, he pushed me, definitely. And I already wanted to do it, but he really did. He was like, what are you talking, you know, you're going. What are you talking? I'm going to come and visit you, and you're going to play Fabric, or, you know, talking like this. Just like pushing me, you know. I mean, so...
That's amazing, man. It's amazing.
Yeah, so it was that was my best workplace, even though, but yeah, now I'm pretty happy too. And we still got contact. I mean, every once in a while, you know, a message like, oh, how's it going?
So where does the name Mikrotakt come from?
Well, it was really difficult, you know, coming up with what name to go with. It was just one day, it just clicked. Literally in a day, I was like, Mikrotakt. Because basically, when I first got into techno, I was difficult because I was really into minimal, which is similar to grooves, but without the fast percussiveness of grooves. So I was really into minimal, but then I was also very into, you know, hypnotic side of techno, like, you know, even like I was listening to a lot of Young Cook and Tataki Ito and these kind of more hypnotic. And then before I properly discovered grooves was going on, I was like, you know, I wanted to do a mix of kind of minimal but still faster, you know, heavier techno. I don't know. So, but yeah, one day I was just like, Mikrotakt is perfect, because basically takt in Swedish means rhythm, and then mikro is obviously like micro, kind of, but with a K.
Yeah,
so like, okay.
Minimal rhythm in a sense.
Exactly, minimal rhythm. And then I kind of, because I made a whole bunch of tracks that are now released that are more hypnotic and stuff, which I kind of like, regret, and I wasn't sure if I should have changed, A-list or something when I got more into grooves.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically, because I thought Mikrotakt is just it suits groovy techno that I'm making now much better than it does hypnotic techno.
Sure, especially hearing the reason, well, the meaning for the name, I think it's relevant pretty much to the sound that you're creating at the moment.
Exactly, I think it just fits perfectly with what I'm doing. But then I'd already released all these hypnotic tracks under the same name. But I basically told myself, all right, I'm going to see my releases as kind of a diary of what I've been going through. Things are always going to change and are going to evolve, and just try not to dwell too much on the past of all these releases and stuff, I guess.
So tell me, obviously you have all the facilities of SAE to your disposal.
Yeah.
So, talking to you previously, you've told me now that you're on Ableton. So what was the reason for moving to Logic to Ableton? And are you in the studio much at SAE, or are you still doing a lot at home and then taking your tracks there to mix down, or?
Well, basically, obviously, producing through the whole of lockdown, I'm pretty comfortable producing at home, to be honest. But yeah, definitely now I will at least run the final mix through, say, the G Plus or the Neve, just to give it that warmth before sending it to, or mastering it, or sending it to mastering.
Sure.
But yeah, basically they've only got Pro Tools on the computers at SAE. And yeah, why I moved from Logic to Ableton was basically when I was studying at SAE. I was working mostly in Logic at home. And then I was also working in Pro Tools for all the work I had to do for the studies, because they only accept Pro Tools, basically. And then I decided, well, I need to learn all the DAWs, so I got Ableton as well, just to learn it. And then basically, I don't know. Because I was pretty dedicated to Logic, but slowly I was just creating new projects in Ableton, to be honest. But there are a few features, like the sampling in Ableton. Say you click on the waveform, and then you have all these algorithms that you can work with granular just on the main sampler in Ableton. Excuse me. So you've got texture, new grain, and so there's a lot of features for sampling within Ableton.
Is it more for the processing why you use Ableton, or is it like the arrangement that you find more easier to use?
Well, and there's also Max for Live in Ableton. I guess it's all the extra.
That's a DAW in itself, right?
Exactly. So you've got Ableton, and then you've got Max for Live. So it's like unending possibilities. Yeah. So there's just so many more features. Basically, if I would care that much, you would probably do all the sound design and playing with samples and using Max for Live plugins in Ableton. Bounce the stems, chuck them into Logic, do all your mixing, or Pro Tools, and then out of Pro, you can move stuff around like that. But you can just as equally do everything in Ableton, which is more what I do.
So you're using Ableton more as a creative process to build the track, and then Pro Tools and Logic to arrange and do your final mixdowns?
Well, no, I use only Ableton. I'm just saying, like, that would probably be the ideal, is like mixing in Logic and Pro Tools. I'm happy just in Ableton at the moment. And yeah, it's because of all the extra features, I'd say. Yeah.
And how do you approach a session like when you're making music? I mean, for myself as a producer and as an artist, your tracks have a lot of swing, you know, a lot of groove in them. Do you solely focus on the drums first before you start making music, or do you normally work with textures and the sounds around the drums, or is it literally straight to the drums, get the drums right and then move on?
Well, I've had different workflows throughout time, because obviously you do one thing for months and months, and then you kind of get bored, and then you move to another way, and then you move to another way. So first, so there's a few different workflows, and then you kind of go back to a few. So basically, it may start with a kick, and then the synth. Most commonly, I'll go, or just the synth, and then add the kick, and then build upon that. Maybe resample the synth, work with the textures, features, you know, that I was mentioning in Ableton, and then layering upon layering, and then go to do the percussion. I'll usually do percussion elements last.
And are you processing whilst you're creating these loops, should I say?
Yeah, so say I find sometimes when I've got, say, a few sounds that I'm happy with, but then I don't know what else to do, or if everything else I try just doesn't work as well at all and it just sounds shit, then I'll be like, okay, well, I'm just going to use these two sounds. So then I'll record them into separate audio tracks, and then I'll start playing with the audio of the sounds, maybe chuck it into samplers, or do work with the grains of it, you know. But yeah, the sampling, like just the sampler, because then you've got like FM modulation you can use, and there's so much you can use. So usually when I get stuck and say I've only, like the latest track I did, I only had one synth note. That was like, oh, that's a cool note. And I was like, I decided straight away, like, okay, I'm just going to use this note. And then I built like the whole track just from that one.
In terms of sampling and what you're talking about, I do think it's like, because a lot of people, they'll buy these sample packs and whatever, and they'll just add them to their tracks with not much processing, and like pretty much use the same, like the rhythm from the sample, whatever. But for me, sampling is exactly what you're talking about, like taking a sample, doing a lot of processing, a lot of sound design to then make it something that's relevant to you, you know?
Exactly. And then you never know. I mean, it's completely crazy. Like, say I'll have, for example, that one note, chuck it into the sampler, and then the sequences is obviously, now these days, I'm working only with sequences. So there's a couple of Max for Live sequences that are just brilliant. There's one called Snake, I would very recommend for anyone out there. So it has like anything you could possibly need. I mean, it has all the features, because there's other ones where you can like go randomized, but then it still doesn't randomize the gates. I love with Snake that you can randomize all, and then it will give you random gate openings as well. So you get these completely random. And then once you have a sequence, then you've got the Snake, which is basically the direction of the sequence, which you can just turn around. Then you've got like 32 more alternative variations of the same sequence. So it's completely mad. So you can end up with one sample, and then you can run it through the sequencer. You get all different pitches and stuff, different gate openings, and completely. And then you may find like one, and then they'll be like, okay, but those two notes were perfect. Then you can remove everything else, keep those two, maybe chuck it through the grain delay, some delay, and then it's complete. Yeah. So it's a lot of just testing things out, and then as soon as I find something like, oh sweet, that's nice, then I'll keep that element, move on to the next, and then add to it and add to it. No, it's a lot of fun. Like, I'm really into it, actually. I'm never bored. Like, I'm definitely most happy when I'm just like producing.
In the way that you produce as well, it's a very good way to keep ideas flowing, and like, for instance, this so-called writer's block, you know? I mean, if you go into it with just one sample and one key, and you I don't know, sample it again and process it again and bounce it down again and keep changing and changing and changing. That's already creating ideas for a sound that may pop up and you feel like you can use, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, that is definitely my go work around writer's block. Say, as I said, when I have a track and I don't know what else to do, then I'll say, but I know it needs more. Then I'll just say, okay, well, I'm just going to use the audio that I already have in the track already and just work solely with that, and then keep processing, layering, just using the same audio files. It's a really fun way to work, actually.
For sure. We're getting towards the end of the interview now, but I just want to move on a little bit to the release we just done. I mean, thank you so much for having me on the remix.
No.
It was fun to work with, for sure, man. I know it was very tight in terms of the deadline, but that was more than anything. But man, it was a pleasure.
I mean, I'm really happy with your work there. Thank you so much. No, when I heard that, I was like, this is just perfect. And it really suits, it's just the way your style, it really fits your style as well. And it's the remix of that track. So it's just amazing.
Thank you so much, man. And I just want to send a big shout out to Joey and Leighton as well in terms of what they're 01366 and the parties in Barcelona, the parties in London. I mean, the party that you played with FaZe, the party that I played with D-Dan, everything that what they're doing for the scene and the community at the moment is incredible, you know? And really need more people like this, especially people that are bringing that energy to the scene. And, you know, and it's amazing that you're part of it, I'm part of it, and they're bringing so many good artists that are mixed up in other groups or whatever, but they're really shining a light on the artists that are putting in the hard work, and I have a lot of respect for both of them guys, man, and for yourself as well, of course.
No, I'm really happy to be a part of it all as well. I mean, and I have to say as well, and I thought I should mention here, you know, I actually remembered this the other day, you know, it was when I was listening to your podcast on, you know, the Fold streaming on YouTube, like a year ago or so. That's actually when I discovered grooves. Like, you played the Headstrom and Flug track or two.
Yeah, I think it was January, February last year.
That is literally when I was like, oh shit, this is it, like. And that's when I really got into scouting grooves, you know, groovy music, and really got into like, this is the sound I have to go for. So it was actually thanks to you. So
for me, that's incredible to hear. I mean,
I literally remembered the other day, and now, you know, we're here. It's just amazing. I'm really happy to be a part of the scene, and that's what.
So, I mean, the EP is solid, you know. The EP is really, really good. And so for me, when the guys asked me, it was a no-brainer, you know. So credit to you, credit to Joey, credit to and I'm very happy to be a part of whatever their journey is, you know, because I really feel shocked about what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
But in terms of, we're coming towards the end of the mix now, so end of the interview, should I say? So, what have you got in the pipeline? Have you got any more releases coming out, or any more gigs booked in?
Yeah, so on the mix, there's a few tracks that I'm just really into at the moment. Some released, a few unreleased, some of my own future to be released, and a few from the EP.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure myself and all the guests are going to enjoy the mix very, very much.
Oh yeah, I hope so. Obviously, they're not all perfect, and you always look back and like, but I guess that's what always keeps you motivated as well to carry on, because you know you can always do better. But we'll see.
And I have a lot of credit for you as well. Like, I want to mention as well, like, you started sending me music for obviously an insight and I don't know, a second feedback. Like, a lot of people don't have the courage to do this, you know, and I think it's really important that you do this, because regardless whether the information you get back or the feedback that you receive, regardless whether it's good or bad, it's good for you, you know. It's good. It's something that you need to hear. It's something that you need to learn from. And if something is not exactly what you want to hear, that is a good thing.
Exactly.
You know, and like, you were always open to that, and I was always honest with you, and you always took it with an open, I don't know, like an open mind, and you worked on it and come back with, I don't know, a better sound, or you made mix better, and so on and so forth. So yeah,
exactly.
it's good that you're learning from the feedback that you're receiving, you know.
Yeah, and I hope that never stops, because I mean, that's how we evolve in the end.
Of course, man, of course.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to get into your mix now, but it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, no.
And hopefully we'll be playing on a gig together soon.
Exactly. Yeah, there are gigs planned in planning right now, but yeah, you guys will just have to keep your eyes peeled and your ears tuned.
I'm sure everyone is following you on social media, and we'll be able to see everything that is coming up.
Yeah, amazing.
Sasha, thank you very much for joining me on the show. We're going to step into your mix now, but it's XONO Invites here with Mikrotakt. Thank you very much for coming on the show.